Okay, we're going to do another historic Brawl deck build challenge here. I'm going to try and build Queen Kayla, bin-Kroog. No idea if this is actually going to be any good. Just seemed like a kind of interesting commander for Boros. Definitely unusual. But you pay 4 mana, discard your whole hand, and then you draw that same number of cards. But then you can choose an artifact and a creature. For artifact or creature, between mana value 1 and 3, and put one of each on the battlefield. So, I mean, you're basically getting those cards for 1 mana discount overall, as long as you get all 3. So, not really sure how good this card actually is. But it also lets you, cycle through your deck or whatnot. Seems like a card that would be pretty strong in some sort of combo deck, maybe, but I'm not really sure what kind of combo deck you can do with Boros, especially on what cards are available here on Historic Brawl. But let's see if we can make something work with this thing. It seems at least interesting. Don't know if it's going to be good or anything, but so first we'll just start looking at the creatures and artifacts between 1 and 4, I suppose, or 3, I think it was. Creatures and artifacts. It's 1 and 3, right? Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we're just looking for 1, 2, and 3 mana cards that we want to get back out of the graveyard for free. Well, not really free, but essentially. So we're probably going to want a lot of things that have, enter the battlefield effects and stuff like that. Stuff to get value out of. And this guy's pretty good in general. Not really sure what I'm going to be doing with this deck yet. Might be just trying to do some sort of aggro swarm with this just gives me gas for it or something. Seems particularly good if, I still got to come in just keep, like 3 cards in my hand at minimum, just so I can try and get the full value of it. It's going to be tricky to make this actually be good. But I really don't know exactly what kind of theme I want to do, if any. But we're going to want probably a lot of 1, 2, and 3 drops in the deck. Most of the deck, in fact, should be that, I'm thinking. I'll probably just kind of split it evenly between 1, 2, and 3 drops, so we'll probably have like 35-ish land. So that means out of the 65 cards, it's probably going to be something around 15 to 20 of each 1, 2, and 3 drops. So hopefully we can find enough stuff worth playing in those. But we'll see. Fine. I don't know if I want a Healer Hawk, maybe though. I need a lot of 1-drops, so probably gonna have to play with ones that I'm not even the biggest fan of. But what is this? I don't know this card. Quick creature gets +1 when it becomes attached to a creature. Free token. Oh, this is the one that just like keeps making more of itself. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna craft anything for this deck specifically, because I don't know if I'll play that in anything else. If we're doing like a creature swarm deck, that guy's pretty good, and I'm thinking I might end up doing that, so we'll see. This guy's alright. Portal Hole is pretty good. Usually finds a good target. What was that? Oh, it's a dinosaur thing. I'm not going to do a dinosaur deck, I don't think, with this. Selfless is great. Sarah Ascendant's really good, but I don't know, maybe I will craft it just because it's a good card anyway. I'll use it in other decks as well. Well, this is one of the new ones. Man, I'd like this card. I think it would be pretty cool if it didn't have Toxic, but I hate it. In fact, I don't want to play it. Protection from multicolor. When I cast a multicolor shot, gain a life. That doesn't seem that good. If we look at the creatures in target opponent's hand, so you just get to look at their hand randomly, okay? And you can get cards from the Bounty Hunter's book. What's it get you? I'm not too impressed with these cards overall. Seems like only maybe 2 or 3 cards are actually any good. Most of them are kind of mediocre at best, so I don't think I'm going to play that. Soul Warden's pretty good, Speaker is pretty good. those good. All right, we already got through the 1-drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, that's a good amount of 1-drops, and we still haven't done red yet, so. All right, let's just keep going through, just kind of grabbing things I think are decent cards on their own, and then we'll see what we do with it from there, see what comes together. This guy's good. I do like this card a lot. Commando is good. Spells, cards from 1 card you drew. Oh, this guy. I don't think I like him that much. Kind of has a Staxy feel to him, and I'm not a big fan of playing stacks. So. This guy's decent. I don't know if he'll make the cut in this deck. This guy's pretty good. He's kind of being casted. You put it in play, right? Turn those stuff. Yeah, it doesn't cast it. Okay. Man, that'd be sick with that. It actually kind of just casting. Yeah, not seeing a whole lot of 2-drops I like. I mean, I haven't gone too far into it yet. Last Casket's probably worth it. I don't think I have enough +1 counter things for that to be good. Do I want to play a Hushbringer? Yeah, probably. Why not? It's not bad. What's this? No. Adversary is good. Well, that would actually get an ETB effect, so that still works with him if I have mana too. Good to remember. What's this thing? Enters or leaves the battlefield. Each permanent card in your hand perpetually becomes an artifact that destroys other types. Perpetually becomes an artifact, so that means it would still be an artifact if it was discarded and stuff, I think, right? So it turns all the stuff in your hand into an artifact and an enchantment permanently. That's weird. I don't think that's quite... I'm definitely not going to craft it. I mean, it seems like too weird a card, but if I already had one somehow out of a pack or something, I might have tried it, but it doesn't seem that good. Another catch. Battlefield under control. Attach the target equipment to you control to that creature. Again, I don't know if I want to craft that guy. I do think I might do like a, you know, try and do some sort of an equipment deck since Boros. I mean, I think there's a lot of decent enough equipment in 3 and under mana cost to maybe play it in this deck. So I basically just want decent bodies to throw my equipment on, and, you know, kind of find the balance between how many equipment and how many creatures in the deck. Probably something like, you know, 1/3 of my 1 through 3 drops will be equipment and the rest will be creatures, or maybe some spells, but what's that? Oh no. I don't think I'm going to be doing auras. I like Lion Sash. Lunark's great. Warhound's not bad, but I don't think I'm not going to craft cards for this deck really. The only reason I'm going to craft this one is just because I've been meaning to craft it anyways, just because it's a solid card in general. And I have several decks I should put it in. But I'm not going to craft cards that I think I'm not necessarily going to play in a lot of decks like this guy. He's okay, but this will probably be worth it if I end up doing a lot of artifacts. Oswald might also be worth it. Maybe. Probably getting a lot of 2-drops now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we're already at like somewhere around 10. So not all of these will make the cut most likely, because I know there's going to be some red 2-drops I want for sure. I first thought I was thinking maybe doing some sort of swarm deck too, but I think I might do more equipment, so I don't think we need things like that. But yeah, we'll see what else. This guy's really good, especially for holding equipment. That guy's pretty good. Yeah, the only way I would craft cards for this deck if it was commons and uncommons that I really wanted in the deck, but that's about it. I don't think I'm going to craft rares or mythics, mostly. I mean, this one Just something to put equipment on and draw the cards. Not bad. If I had a SRAM, I don't know. Maybe I'll actually craft this one just because it is also a good card in a few decks I have. It's another one I didn't mean to craft once before and then kind of forgot about it. All right, so I guess we will be using up with the last of our rares here because that's a mythic, I think, or is that just a rare? It's just a rare, isn't it? Yeah, so I can't actually craft both of these. So which one do I want more? Well, I think I can take that out. I'll craft Sarah another time. So SRAM is winning that for now. Don't know if I want to do like anti-ETBs though. I already thought about the Hushbringer, but I think I'm going to want more ETB type creatures, so those probably aren't going to make the cut. I do like Tide Taker, but I doubt he'll make the cut, but you never know. This card's so good in a life gain deck, but I'm not really doing a life gain theme, really, so... Alright, now we're at 3 drops. I mean, Adeline, of course, is amazing. I do really like the Anointed Peacekeeper, too. I don't know if he'll make the cut, but he might. Toxic you. I do like this guy, but 3 white symbols is probably going to be hard to do in a 2-color Boros deck. I'm not going to have great color fixing, so I'm not going to do that. Brutal Cathar. It's not bad. I might try that one out. Alright, this guy, if I'm going to be playing equipment, I probably should play Danitha. Also falls into the 1 to 3 drop category, so... Lead Spellbinder is good. Oh, Professional Lifelink, yeah, I don't think I care about that. Yeah. Such a weird card. I do like Hanged Executioner, but I doubt I'm going to be able to make it get into the cut of this deck. Is Heliod worth it for this? Probably not really. I do like these guys that draw cards. Sunwing's pretty good. Spirits or enchantments. I don't think that'll be good enough. None of those. Lauren's really good. I still don't think I've ever tapped this thing to make both players draw a card. I've only ever used it as a 2/1 vigilance that kills an artifact or enchantment when it comes in. That's all it is. I hate cards that give my opponents anything, even if it gives it to me too. This guy is actually not terrible. I've played him in a few decks and he's actually been surprisingly decent, but I'm not sure. Maybe. I might try it. Oh, there's a good equipment. Not quite right. I think this one might be decent for this deck. That'll probably be good. Give me a little bit of gas. More cards to put in my hand. Activate her with. Midar's good. I like the Priest of Ancient Lore. I'm not sure all these guys will make the cut, but I at least want to consider them. Is Redain worth it? It can be pretty annoying for my opponent. This is another one that's really strong that probably would be good in the deck, but wait, is that a mythic? Maybe I could craft this. This is a card I would not mind having in general, so I think that will take up my other craft spot. Probably. Maybe Redain. I don't know. Probably won't make the cut, but I'll at least consider it. I don't think these are the right cards for this kind of deck. I'm not really doing like a tribal type thing. Exile to one other creature from the battlefield or from the graveyard. He leaves the battlefield to come back. Only a 1/2 though. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna make the cut. I'm already gonna almost certainly put a Sky Cloud, whatever it's called in, not Sky Cloud, Skyclave Apparition. It's just a worse version of that. Okay, he's definitely gonna go in. Oh, that's a brick. I'm not gonna make that. Would this guy actually be worth it? No, I don't really doubt it. That actually doesn't even work with that. This might be good enough. When he leaves the battlefield, turn target creature with power of 1 or less from graveyard to battlefield. You know, probably have a decent amount of targets for this thing. I might try and play a Bellspark, Vesperlark, whatever. Alright, now we're into the red cards, so let's just start putting stuff in and we'll cut after. I actually like Boots of Speed, alright. Especially if I'm going to be doing equipment stuff, that's a decent one. It's a good equipment card. Most of this guy's a decent equipment card. So those are at least considerations. I actually think maybe I'll play that. The desk isn't bad. It's gas, especially for Boros, which is going to be a little weak on card draw. This guy's pretty good. I do want to try and get him in. I like the Phoenix chick too. I don't know if I'm definitely not going to be able to fit all these 1-drops. Well, that definitely is better than the Boots of Speed. In fact, I forgot about that. Rabbit's just definitely better than that. I don't think I want that many 1-drop hasters. This guy isn't bad either, though. He's really good if you get him in the early game. He's just kind of bad if you get him in the late game. But still, we'll be trying to get free stuff, so semi-free stuff. Now we're hitting 2-drops. I know there's some red 2-drops I definitely want in this deck. Like Robber of the Rich and Magda, stuff like that. Every time I've played this guy, he's been disappointing. It's one of those cards that kind of on paper seems like he could be good, but then when you play him, just, I don't know, it never seems as good as you expect it to be. At least that's been my experience with that guy. I actually like this creature. I might try and run him. We'll see if he can make the cut. Probably not, but you never know. Which one is that? That's the one that blows up an artifact. Yeah. What's Felton do again? Oh, he's kind of card draw thing, sort of. He has a 2/2 with haste. Maybe he'll go in. It's a good card, but I don't think it's quite right for this deck. Still gonna have more creatures than anything. So. By that same mentality, I'll probably end up cutting the prowess guy. Goblin Engineer. Right. Draw the card. You may choose an artifact. They had to be discarded that way. Okay, so I couldn't like throw a good artifact into my graveyard with him and then get it back with the queen. That makes him less good for sure. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to run the engineer in this deck. I do like this guy, but again, I don't think he's going to be able to mix up with all these awesome 2-drops. He's just not quite good enough. I'm already going to be having to cut cards that are good. I like Goro. Magda for sure. She's just a solid card. Oh, yeah, I do like this card too. It's kind of like a robber of the rich. If I do run enough artifacts, maybe a Reckless Fire Reaver is worth it. I'm not so sure though. Probably not. I don't have one of these. That's surprising. I don't think it's right for this deck, but I thought I had one of these in a deck somewhere. Guess I'm remembering paper instead. 7 dwarves. I wonder if this is worth it. It's only on instant sorceries. If this was non-creature spells, it would definitely have been worth it. But I don't think this deck is going to run a high amount of instant sorceries. I'll have some, but alright, now we're back into 3-drops. Actually, I like this card too, but I don't think this is going to be able to compete with the 3-drops I already have. I'm already going to have to cut stuff that I like, so I'm going to have to find, if there's any 3-drops from red going in, they're going to have to be powerhouses. Like Bargy, for example, is really strong. I think that's going to make the cut. Bone Crusher is really good too. I'm going to try and fit that in. I'm not sure I can, but Combat Celebrant, probably worth it. This guy's pretty cool too. Just don't think it'll make the cut, but he's cool. I want him in the deck in a way, but fuck it, let's at least put it in as a maybe. Dual Caster Mage is really good, but I don't think this deck's going to have enough sorceries for that to work. Fable is good, but again, not actually a creature or an artifact for me to get back with the Queen. Still might be worth running because it's just such a powerful card. Gotta at least put it in as a maybe. Some new cards I don't even know. Love to play Chain Whirler in this deck, but I don't think 3 red symbols is going to work. I get stuck in my hand too often. Well, then again, I guess the symbols don't matter too much with the Queen, huh? I don't know. Still not so sure. That means maybe I will put in that Banalish Marshal. This Krenko might be worth it. He could do his power, so if I pump him with equipment, he'll make more goblins too. Yeah, he's at least worth considering. Laylee is amazing. She's probably going in. War Boss is good. Yeah, these are all ones that, I don't know. It's going to be hard to cut some of these, but we'll have to. I mean, this thing is really good. It was just a 3-mana 2/2 double striker. Throw equipment on it. I like the Phoenix too. Facebreaker is really good. That's definitely a consideration. These are almost good enough, but I doubt they'll make the cut, so I'm not even going to bother. We're already at a point where I'm not so sure I like this card. I'm not so sure how many of these I'm going to cut, but probably going to be more than I want. Before I make my cuts, I am going to start looking at equipment too, and just see what kind of equipment there is to put in here. Squeeze, really good too, but man, got too many 3-drops by a lot, so he's probably going to not make it. Oh yeah, this guy's pretty good in the equipment deck. Definitely got to play him, I think. There's that 2-mana champion too that I didn't put in, but this one's a little better than that guy, so he will get put in, I think. What's this guy? Oh, that weird thing. No, not Zorn. I like Shivan Devastator, but I don't have one right now, and that's fine. I don't need it or anything. Zabaz. I didn't realize Zabaz was actually in Arena. That's funny. Okay, so we're back to actually 2-drops in the gold cards. Okay. Again, all these guys are going to be competing with some pretty strong cards already that I'm probably going to have to cut, so they're going to have to be really good for me to put them in at this point. None of these are really seeming that good to me. Nothing that seems like it would be better than what I've already got, so this guy probably would be. This guy's pretty good too, huh? You cast a spell to turn. Oh, it has to be a spell, not like an ability. If that worked with equipment, I guess that would be worth it. But what's this guy? Oh, attack alone. I don't think we'll be doing that much. Oh yeah, this guy for sure. He's a good equipment guy. He was actually one of the ones I was originally thinking making a commander for, and I did this instead. Do you have any others that are good for? Oh yeah, this whole 4 Mirrodin thing. So this comes in the battlefield attached already to a 2/2 body. It makes other equipments cheaper, and it gives double strike. It's 5 to equip. Damn. Still, I'll have to consider it at least. Oh, this is dwarves and vehicles. Yeah, this guy isn't that good. Nah, almost good enough, but I don't think so. What is Odric? It's just blood tokens though. I do like this creature, but again, I'm not going to craft it just for this deck. That guy's weird. Tajik is good. Non-combat damage. I mean, very good against certain decks, and otherwise just a 3/2 haste mentor, I guess. That sometimes gets first strike for 2 mana. Yeah, I don't think he's going to make the cut against these other 3-drops that I have. What I really like, but I'm going to try and fit that in. I just don't know if it will. Oh, this would actually work with my commander, huh? Ooh. Alright, we have to play a Zerda then. No, not companion. Yeah, that's definitely a good card for this deck. I didn't even think about that. Alright. So now we're just looking at equipment. I already put a couple equipment in that I came across, but how many equipment am I going to want in this deck? Probably around 12 to 15, I'm guessing, something in that range. So let's see if there are that many equipment that I actually like. I've already thrown, what, like 2 equipment in the deck, I think? Oh, more than that, okay. Oh, he just has equipment in his thing, so 1, 2, 3, oh, it's not actual equipment, 3, 4. So we actually have 4 actual equipment in the deck already. So we got to find another 8 or so. That seemed good. I actually don't mind this one. I think I might play a plate armor. I've played this in the past in other equipment decks, and it's actually been surprisingly good. It gets cheap easily. Is this horn good? Actually, I like this. Try that one maybe. Already got that in there. None of these impress me. Oh, this guy looks the top 5. Yeah, that's probably not really going to work out very well. 4 Mirrodin, but it's only +1 power or toughness. I mean, meh. Not impressive. Already got them all in there. How many soldiers are in my deck? I've got a dozen soldiers, huh? Is that worth it? I don't know if it's worth it for 3 mana. What's this one? Equipped creature becomes blocked. It deals. Or equipped creature becomes blocked. It deals 1 damage to the defending player. Yeah. It's kind of like the same thing as this, right? This one's actually not terrible though, because it's 1 mana and 1 to equip, so that one actually might go in. I don't think I want to do the champion still. What's this one? I'd have to equip, or I would have to craft it, but it's not bad though. Fiend Lash, huh? If I had this, I would put it in, but I'm not going to equip it, or not going to craft it, so. This is another one of those reconfigures. First strike to gain keep a random artifact in your hand freshly gains, costs 1 less to cast. It only reconfigures for 1 red. Another one I'd have to craft. I would play it if I could, but I don't have it, so I'm not going to. This gives first strike and trample to a 2/2. Equips for 3 though, man. I like the idea of these for Mirrodin cards, but they always put the equip cost so high, it makes them just not quite worth playing. Oh, Lizard Blades, that'd be a good one too, but I don't have one, so I will not craft that either. I can't do that one. Hmm. 2/3 menace for 3 isn't great, but then he does have quite a few abilities. Huh. I might try him. He's not equipment, but he's a creature. Reconfigure 5. I'm actually tempted to play this one. I don't think I really have dwarves, right? But I have 3 dwarves in the deck currently. Though I probably will put in Brunor as a 4-drop if we end up doing this many equipment. I don't know. Maybe I'll try the Bearded Axe. I don't know. What's this one do? 2 mana instant, give double strike. Okay. Double its power until end of turn. For equip 2. Cost 3. Actually, that might not be bad for this deck. Is Bone Saw worth it? Probably. I mean, it's basically free. I like Bone Splitter too, just for the beatdowns. I actually like Eater of Virtue. I think it actually works in this deck too, because I don't get things back that go to the graveyard, just the ones that I discard to her. So I'm not going to have a lot of graveyard recursion. So if things get exiled, this is basically just better than Bone Splitter in that case. I don't think I'm going to have a lot of ways to get creatures back from the graveyard. I tried the hammer. I mean, I don't have that many ways to reduce equipment costs, right? I have a few, but he's much better if you have a commander that does it. But I don't think I'm going to do the Colossus Hammer in this deck. It's a fun card, but Shadow Spear is a definite yes. That's almost an auto-include in every deck for me. Blackblade's nice. Flying in haste, but for 2 and 2. A little much. And I like the Goldvein pick, but it seems like I never end up keeping it. I'm gonna put it in as consideration anyway. And so much bad equipment in Brawl. Got Swiftfoots though, that's good. I actually just cracked the new sword from a pack earlier today too. That's quite good enough. Well, this one, I don't know. There's one that actually equips when it comes on the battlefield and gives flying. Did I pass it? I must have passed it. I think I want to actually play that. I remember that being good in previous equipped decks that I played. Wasn't there one that like 2-drop that comes on the battlefield and then equips automatically and gives flying? Oh, Batterbound too. Man, what am I thinking of? I don't know, maybe I'm just imagining things, but I thought there was one that equipped automatically. Can't remember what set it was. I remember playing it in limited, and I remember playing it in like an old Brawl deck I had that was equipment based. I could have sworn there it was a 2-drop. Alright, maybe my memory is playing tricks on me. This one almost seems worth it, but not quite. Is this the one? No, that was the one I was just looking at. Huh. Alright, I guess I'm just remembering wrong. Alright, Nettle Sister probably would be worth it. That's a really strong equipment. If I go for the spike. Might try the spike. Play this sword. I mean, I don't hate this card. It's alright. I don't even know how many equipment I have right now, but... One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Why is it covered up? 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, that's probably too many equipment. At least 4 or 5. Which ones do I like least? Actually, you know what? I'm not going to cut the equipment first. I want to see how the creatures end up first. And I still want to save some room for more than 3 drops as well. I'm going to put in some... Oh, I should reset this. Definitely want him in there. I think he's really an auto-include in any Boros equipment deck. Even at his casting cost, he's quite good. Oh, and they actually pumped him on Alchemy, didn't they? He was a 5-3 normally. I think he's now a 5-4. That makes him even better. Yeah, but he can be a quick finisher. I don't know. Maybe I do want to even run like closer to 20 equipment. I don't know. It's hard to say. Alright, so other spells I can think of off the top of my head. Swords of Plowshares. Probably going to want... shit, what's it called? It's the Saga. The Gold Saga. Showdown, that one. I probably want that. I also probably want Tyrite. It's a bit mana rampy and it goes and gets me under equipment, so those will be good in it. Just trying to think of other things that I want in this type of deck. And let's just look through real quick and just see what we have. Well, I can actually just look at instants and sorceries and stuff, but I haven't looked at yet. Just quickly go through. I mean, I probably want Authority of the Consoles because this is a pretty aggressive deck, and that is good for getting that finish off on people so they can't put creatures in the way to block at the last minute. Do I want to run any protection spells for my creatures? I don't think I do, actually. In a way, I kind of don't care if my opponent kills her because If they're wasting their removal spells on her and not killing my creatures that are actually going to be killing them, I don't think I care that much. Mana Tithe. I actually like this card, but it's a little slow for this kind of deck. I don't think I'm going to be able to fit it in. But we definitely want to have some of the decent removal spells in these colors. Just not remembering off the top of my head which ones I think are best. I mean, Swords is definitely going to go in. I actually like this card quite a bit. And this deck has a decent chance of pulling off the full value on it too. That's right too. I also have some other removal spells in here too. I put in like the Glass Casket and the Portable Hole. Don't want to forget that. I do want to keep those in there probably. Just for value with this. I don't know. I don't think this is quite going to go in this deck. I like the card though. And a few other decks I've played it in, like in my Heliod deck, it's really, really good. Of course, when your commander is actually an enchantment, it already fits half of the requirements, makes it easier. Yeah, I'm going to have to make so many cuts because I haven't even put the land in. But that's usually how it goes. I think I like Fateful Absence enough. It's annoying giving my opponent a card draw thing, but usually it's worth it. Especially like having a way to spot removal planeswalkers that are problematic. How much removal do I want in this deck? I've got a few now. I mean, this isn't going to be a heavy removal deck. Might even have enough already. And it's more like offense removal, not defense removal. I want to kill... This might be worth it. Kill some of the more annoying creatures that come out early that have the 4 toughness, and worst case, make something indestructible in a good situation, you know? It's a good card, I think. Worth running. But yeah, what I was saying, my removal in this deck is mostly for aggressive reasons. Like I want to remove blockers. I don't really care about things attacking me very much usually. So I don't want to run like, Borrowed Time and Vanishing Light, or that other one that kills tapped creatures, which in some decks I do run those cards, but those are just too slow for this kind of deck. Oh, what? I know the other one I'm forgetting. March of Otherworldly Light. Yeah, I want that. I don't think there's any really good red removal or multicolored removal. Oh, probably want to play this, right? Search for an equipment right off the bat. Yeah, I think that'll be good. I actually do like Lightning Helix in decks like this because it gets rid of the small things. It's nice that it's an instant speed. You can kill small planeswalkers. I also really like Rip Apart. I think I am going to try and get Rip Apart in the deck. This card can be pretty strong. But I don't want to have that many 4-drops in the deck either, just because I want to have maximum value for her. Yeah, that's looking like... Oh, what's this again? Nah. Yeah, I'm not thinking of any other removal spells I want right off the bat or anything, so... Alright, now do I want Mana Rocks in a deck like this? I don't think I really do, because... I mean, maybe I'll play the Mox Amber, because it's 0. But I don't want to be spending my mana dropping Mana Rocks. I want to be spending my mana dropping creatures, because this is definitely going to be a heavy aggro deck, and this is just for gas to keep it going. And I don't really like playing things like Arcane Signet and stuff in these kind of decks that much. I don't know, maybe I'll still run Arcane Signet, but that's probably going to be like it. All right. No, we still got to do the land too, so let's just get that in there right now before I forget. All right. I want things that don't come in tapped. Or at least have a high likelihood to not come in tapped. I do like this card actually. Normally I do like to run at least one of these kind of cards, but I don't know. I don't think in this deck it's going to matter that much. If my opponent's getting to the point where their man lands are going to matter, I probably already lost, so... Fabled I think is still worth it. Barely. We're pretty much with this Plaza Heroes will probably be worth it. And that's probably going to be it. Really don't want to play any kind of lands that come in tapped in this deck at all. Unless they're ones that, you know, have some condition where they can come in untapped. At least a condition this deck can meet easily. So we might have mana fixing problems occasionally. There's definitely... I don't know if this is going to be more white or red, so I'm just kind of doing an even split on it for now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I'm only going to run about 35 land, since I don't really have a lot of ramp. And this deck doesn't really need that much land, so 35 is probably even a little high, but it's arena, so I'm going to go with 35. 9, so that gives me about 13 of each. Something like that. I have a feeling I'm going to go a little heavier on the white than the red though, so probably do like 14 and 12 or something like that. Which ones do I want to play? Actually, I think I'm going to play the planets. They're just, I still love these things. Still don't know why they make you have to click every single land one at a time. You can't just like, they don't have an option to just type in a number or something. Yeah, so that's a relatively even split on the land for now, but if I end up cutting more red than white, I'll probably even tilt it more toward white a little bit at the end, but I think this is what we want for land. Oh, and I do want those, I always forget about that. Pay 3 life land. Yeah, the call and Shatter Skull. Because sometimes in the late game, those can be game-winning cards. And in the early game, you can just pay 3 life to play him as land, and it's no big deal. I'm actually tempted to play a Spire of Industry, because I'm probably going to have a good amount of artifacts with these equipments, but I don't know. Probably not. Alright, that also means, yeah, let's just do it like this. And we're back to even. So let's make sure I did it right. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35 land. Okay, that's probably good enough. Very little actual ramp in the deck, but this deck doesn't really need ramp, so I'm going to craft those guys right now. I'm almost 100% sure that the rare mythics are going to stay in the deck. Alright, now the cutting process begins. So I'm going to start first I'm going to separate these piles of creatures and non-creatures. It's not a creature. Oh, that's for Sentinel too. If I get equipment to pump his power, that's going to be even cooler. I can already tell Healer Hawk is just not going to be good enough. Same with this guy, I don't think. No. Probably not this guy either. Soul Warden might stay, maybe. Good creatures. And like I said, I kind of want somewhere in the range of roughly 15 of each in creatures, probably. Something in that range. Maybe a little less. Almost certainly taking this guy out too. It's just not going to be enough prowess triggers for him, I don't think. This is kind of nice because it counts as a creature and an equipment. But I'm going to count it mainly as a creature. As a side effect, it's also equipment. Alright, so that's all my one-drop creatures right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's actually a little lower than I thought. We were going to be way over on that. More over on these than that. Alright, well, probably want to put some of those back then. I don't even remember what cut. Oh, I know. Shit, what was it called? The life gainy guy. Not that one. The other. I'm so bad at remembering the names of these guys. Lunargus. Yeah, that guy. Veteran. So now we're at what, like 14 instead? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's probably somewhere in the range that I want. I might even cut some of these creatures down and go like, I don't know, maybe 12 of each or something like that, but I do want a lot of creatures in this deck. So for now that looks good. Alright, so now let's go back to, now we do this. Non-creatures will go in that pile. Oops. He's not going to go in. I didn't end up doing that many ETBs, there weren't that many. That's a non-creature. Non-creature. I mean, this is basically a non-creature spell, right? I mean, it turns into a creature, but I can't get it back with her. And actually, no, that might not even make the cut. In fact, I think it's not gonna. I like that card a lot, but I don't think it's gonna work in this deck very well. I'm not so sure about Oswald at this point either. I thought I might end up doing more of an artifact themed deck when I was first building it. Now that we've kind of gone into more of an equipment deck, I'm not so sure he's really right for that kind of deck. I don't think he's going to make the cut, most likely. Creature. Right. Yeah, we have a lot of 2-drop creatures, so. I'm going to just have to cut a couple of them, I guess, but actually, again, not as many as I thought. Maybe I'll be doing more cuts on the non-creatures than the creatures than I realized. So we're at, what, 14 there, so 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So I like to cut about, if we end up going with 14 of each, which is kind of what I'm shooting for at this moment, I'll like to cut about 4 or 5 of them. Alright, which ones do I like least? I mean, Tide Taker's cool, but it's definitely not great. I don't think I need this guy. I don't really want to be sacrificing my creatures. Maybe he's not quite worth it. Just for a 1/1 with no other real synergies in the deck. I don't think I like this Feldon. Oh, Berserker's gonna have to go. I like the card, but can't fit him, I don't think. Maybe the Season Hallowed can go too. I don't think I'm going to be able to discard cards that well for him, so we already have an Adanto for similar ability. We have a bunch of other guys I can sacrifice to give indestructible if I need to, which is not really what we want to be doing, but sometimes it's worth it. It looks okay, and we're going to do the same on the 3-drops basically, so let's start putting the non-creature cards aside. Put that there. Yeah, Redain I can already tell isn't going to make the cut. A few of these are probably not making the cut too, but like Bone Crusher, probably not going to make the cut either. Or this guy, he's fun, but I don't think he'll make it. It's not a creature for purposes of I want for creatures in the deck. Wow, we got a lot of 3-drops. We are definitely have to do some big cuts on 3-drops. It's cool. Whip is cool. Don't know if the whip will make the cut. But, so do I count this as a creature? I mean, I guess so. I mean, it's also an artifact, so it's definitely got the synergy with the queen. I don't know. I think I'll count it as the creature pile. And I don't know. A lot of that is going to get cut too, of course. But all right, we have a lot of cuts to make on the 3-drop pile. So what do we not want most? I don't think I care about this enough. It's not going to be able to make it. I like the elephant, it's a fun card, but it's just I got too many cuts to make. I'm not going to be able to keep that one. Too many better cards. What's this one again? Oh, that guy. I do want to try him. I think I'm going to try and keep him in. I don't think I really need Krenko or this War Boss. They're fun and cool, but like so many of these other cards are just better. He's another one that I wanted to play him, but I just don't think I can. Probably same with this guy. Don't think it will work out that well. Oh man. Maybe Mentor is too slow. I like having some card draw and stuff, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to play him. I really want to try this Burglar or whatever, Bugler out. Real creature card with power 2 or less from when put it in your hand. I mean, I guess I'm going to whiff some of the time with that, but I guess most of the time I'm not, right? I mean, I think I like it. I think I'm going to try and keep it. I might have to cut it, but I don't know. I think I'll cut the Priest. I like to draw the card and all, but I just can't fit everything. Man, maybe I even have to cut Lelia. I really like this card, but in this deck it's not as good as it is in some other decks, so I think I'll cut her. Still love the Facebreaker a lot, just because Menace and kind of card draw gives you ramp. Like, it's just so good. I can't cut him. Oh man. I guess I'm gonna have to cut Nadir. I really like him too, but I guess I am gonna have to cut the Bugler. I might even cut this Elite Spellbinder. It's a good card, but I don't know, just kind of at a point where just trying to fit the right numbers in here. I don't think he's necessarily better than a lot of the other stuff I'm keeping here. Maybe I even kill this. I like this card though in equipment decks. Maybe the Cathar can go. I don't know. Man, it's hard to say. I mean, I'm not a big fan of this card in general, and I do have other creatures that enter the battlefield and kill creatures. So what am I getting with him most of the time? Like, even if I end up cutting this, I'm glad I crafted it, just because I have other decks I know I want him in. I'm not sure he's right for this deck after all, but we have a lot of 1-drops to get. But so when I'm on turn 3 playing him, what 1-drop do I want to put in my hand? Which will essentially be giving me stuff for her, I suppose. Yeah, I guess he's worth it. I can see a lot of ways for that to go well. Man, oh man, this is a tough one. Maybe I just keep a little bit more on the 3-drops. Maybe I cut another 1 or 2-drop or something. I just want to try and make sure I maximize my value with this card. I don't know, maybe this Overseer can come out. I really do like these guys that come in and give you a decent body and draw enemy flies. I don't know, I don't want to cut that. I don't know, maybe the bird you can get cut. It's a pretty cool card, it's a pretty strong card, but oh man, I guess I'm gonna have to cut this thing. I don't, again, I don't want to though. Yeah, this is tough. I guess I can cut this guy. He's all right, but he doesn't need to be in here. So we're at what, 14, 15, 16, 3 drops, which puts me at a total of a lot of creatures. How many creatures am I at right now? 44 creatures. That's pretty high, but at the same time, maybe I want that many in this deck. I don't know. I think I like everything left here. I don't really want to cut anything else. Maybe I could cut this guy. He's not like I'm going to be doing anything crazy with him. I don't know. Is it insane to cut a combat settlement? Yeah, I don't think I'm going to keep it. Yeah, fuck the Brutal Cathar too. Alright, now we're down to an even number, 14 of each, so we got 42 creatures. Well, I guess it's really like 43 creatures, because the tracker isn't counting that as a creature. And I do have other things that might end up staying in here that make creatures, like Fable, although I don't know. I don't see Fable actually sticking in this deck in the end. Oh, the Kiki Jiki is so good, and being able to just like swap out 2 cards can be so good too. Man, I don't know. I'm probably gonna try and keep the Fable in. Alright, so we've got a guaranteed like large chunk of the deck that we can get back with her, so everything else that goes in is just going to add to that more. And still got to cut, what, 10 more cards? And there's probably still other cards that should go in this deck that I just didn't even think about, but I don't really care at this point either. I'll get rid of the desk. I'll probably have to get rid of the pick. It's another one of those cards that, like, on paper it seems like it should be good and then always ends up being disappointing, at least most of the time. Yeah, and this actually makes creatures too. Oh, such a high creature count in this deck. I love it. I don't know, maybe this Bearded Axe ain't going to be worth it. I like it and all, but two-hander might not be worth it either, although it really doesn't seem too bad. I guess not. I don't think I'm going to do the spike either. Maybe this casket can come out. And I could take out the hole too, but actually I like the hole quite a bit. There's a little, like, it kills mana dorks and small blockers that can get in my way, and so it's easy to squeeze in on like turn 3 with a 2-drop in that. I think I want to keep it. I might get rid of this Bone Saw though. It is pretty weak. It's nice as a 0-drop, but actually it doesn't even work with this either, does it? It has to be exactly 1, 2, and 3, so yeah, let's just cut that. 3 more cards. Alright, we can take this one out. How often am I going to get to play an additional land? I don't know, maybe I wanted to try this sort out because I literally just got it today and haven't put it in a deck yet, but it seems like, you know, an equipment deck should wear this, but in the end, is it really? I mean, it's kind of card draw. I guess, yeah, I'm going to keep it. At least try it out. I don't know, maybe this horn comes out. It's kind of cool and stuff. If this was, if the Isgard's Call was an instant, I would absolutely keep it, but as a sorcery, I don't think it's going to be good enough. I don't think I'm going to be spending my turn trying to make 1/1 tokens most of the time, so then it's just an equipment that isn't that great. Alright, what is the Eater of Virtue getting? Like, I have a bunch of creatures with different abilities that you can get, right? So, and I have very little ways to get things back from graveyard. Actually, I don't think I have any real ways to get things back from the graveyard except the ones I discard with her, so yeah, I think the Eater's going to stay. Maybe Just gotta cut one more card. Maybe I'll go get one more creature. I don't know what the creature would be though. So many of the creatures left I love for this deck. Alright, well, also let's look at how many of these cards are not even artifacts. Oh, maybe this can go. Yeah, I think this one's actually pretty bad overall, isn't it? I mean, it's kind of nice that it gives you, what, for 3 mana, a 2/2 with double strike, and makes equipment cost 1 less to activate. So it's really good, because that affects itself, right? I think it must. The way that's worded, it sounds like it doesn't even have to be equipped for that to work, so... I don't know, I'm torn with this card. Like, I kind of want to try it, but it seems like it might just be bad. Because even at 4 mana equip, being able to make all of my equipments 1 less, that could be really good. I'm actually thinking I'm just going to cut this Arcane Signet. Then again, I really think maybe I should run even a couple more Mana Rocks just because they'd work really well with her. That way you'd actually net gain mana, essentially. Didn't think about that before. Maybe I should actually cut some of this other stuff and put in a few more Mana Rocks after all. So if I were to throw in any other Mana Rocks, it would probably be Mind Stone and maybe Chromatic Lantern. Still have to cut down to 100 though. I don't know, maybe the March goes. Yeah. So I do think I am gonna, now that I'm thinking about it more, I do want to throw in more Mana Rocks. Which means I have to cut a couple more things, so a 2-drop and a 3-drop essentially. Alright, we're lowest on 3-drops right now, which means I can cut a 2-drop and a 1-drop and then put in... Yeah, that will probably work. Maybe the Portal Hole comes out after all. And oh, that's not even supposed to be in that pile. Maybe I take out the Rebel card. Yeah, I think that can come out. Alright, and we'll throw in Mind Stone and a Chromatic Lantern. Just to make sure color fixing isn't a problem sometimes. And essentially a nearly free Mana Rock. Like, if I have a good situation where I discard my hand that has, you know, an Arcane Signet and the, wherever it went, or the Mind Stone or the other 3 Mana Rock, and I put those out, you know, have a couple of creatures that I draw, like, I don't know, it seems like it could be pretty good. Hell, maybe I even want more Mana Rocks, but there aren't that many good Mana Rocks in those casting costs that come in untapped, so. Oh, there's the Lantern. Alright, I think I like how this deck looks for now. So yeah, I'm going to give it a try. So this is the deck for anyone who's watching that is interested. This is the deck I'm going to try, and if you want to see me play it, that will be in a separate video where I will I'll do a historic Brawl challenge where I try to get 5 wins before I get 5 losses with it and just see how it does. Alright, so now you can kind of see everything here. I hate how it puts that little companion thing on there when you're not using it. So this is what I'm going to go with, see how this works. It may really be bad, and it may work. Anyway, that's the deck build, so please like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Definitely helps the channel grow, and encourages me to make more content like this if you like what you see. Until next time, happy gaming.